All right, so let's talk with Ed Butowsky this morning. Ed is going to be joining us. He's from Chapwood Investments Management investment firm, and we want to talk about retiring. And in fact, we want to talk about unretiring because of inflation, the way the economy is going. It's becoming more and more of an issue. Ed, are people unretiring all across this nation right now?
Yeah, they are. I mean, there's no question that people didn't plan poorly. They actually planned accurately, but they had an unexpected tax given to them, which is the rising cost of living, which the CPI actually does a really poor job of measuring the accurate number. But even with that, the number is significantly higher than what they planned for. So even though the number is not accurate, it's 8.6%. It's really about 12% around the country.
Wow. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. So people are contemplating this. What are some of the factors that, besides the fact that we're just seeing the prices on the shelves of practically everything, what are some of the factors that they should consider when they're thinking, I need to get a job, I need to unretire and get back to work?
Well, a lot of people, when they retire, look to invest their money in fixed income. And even though fixed income is paying more than it was over the last couple of years, if you invested in fixed income, the value of your investments have gone down about 10%. So not only is the rising cost of living happening, but you actually have the value of your investments going down, which is a double negative. So you really have to get a good financial advisor to plan what the accurate rising cost of living increase, not the CPI number, but figure out what your actual rising cost of living increase is. Where you live is going to be different than Los Angeles, but it's certainly going to be different than it is in Dallas. So everybody needs to really, sharpen their pencils and not deal with vagueness, but deal specifically with what they really spend their money on.
Are the people who are going back to work now, are they going back to the types of jobs they held before, maybe even the same company, or are they looking to do something entirely different, maybe part-time, maybe something that they have always dreamed of?
Yeah, a lot of people are looking for other types of jobs. They don't want to go back to doing what they were doing. But, a lot of employers will welcome them back if they retired on good grounds. But it really depends on the person and how much money they need to supplement their retirement. But the idea of retirement, the way that, we always thought it would be in the movies, just doesn't happen anymore.
Wow. Inflation and the economy, certainly those are the driving factors that are putting a lot of people back into the workforce. But it's been an issue for a while. People are living much longer than they have in the past and still retiring at around the same age. And we hear all kinds of projections about how the life expectancy is going to go up and how those savings just might not last as they had in the past. Is this a trend that you could see coming for a while now?
Oh, yeah, without question. And don't forget that the majority of your money in your older years goes to healthcare, and healthcare costs have soared. So you have really, I said a double negative before, but you really have a triple negative. People are living longer, spending more money on healthcare. You have a slow economy, and you have cost of living increase, which is dramatically higher. I certainly haven't made a really nice picture this morning, have I?
Well, fortunately, there are guys like you out there who can help us. We really do need to get our financial planner on the same page with us, don't we?
You really do. And you have to have a financial planner who's going to give you accurate information and really use the true cost of living increase. You should look at Shadow Statistics. There's a website that John Williams puts out, and he accurately reflects the real cost of living increase that everybody is suffering with. This is before the government manipulation back in the early 80s. In the early 80s, the government manipulated how they calculated the CPI, and he accurately reflects the real cost of living increase. And that's what people need to pay attention to.
Do we fool ourselves when we're approaching those retirement years and say, oh, I can live on this or I can do without that, and therefore once I get to those retirement years, I'm actually going to do that and I'll be as comfortable as I want to be?
Oh yeah, and that's why at Christmas, Grandma and Grandpa's presents are not as good as they used to be. You notice that Grandma and Grandpa don't come as often as they used to visit, and their presents used to be $100, now it's $50, and then then you just open up a card and it says Merry Christmas, which isn't bad, but you can definitely tell it's not because they don't love you anymore, it's because they cannot afford to give you anything.
And 40 years ago, we were all thinking, or people were all thinking, that, I can just live on Social Security income. That's what it's there for. And that's going to be my retirement plan. That's completely blown out of the water, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, even though that does adjust for the cost of living increase, cost of living increase is not accurate. That's the main takeaway, is even though your investments are down, your cost of living increase is not the CPI. It's more 12%.
And we're losing you there, Ed. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, there you go. All right, so some things, Ed, that we should be doing right now as we're thinking about retirement. Say retirement is within, let's pick a number, 5 years. Retirement's within 5 years, and I'm not sure that I have enough money to do it. What should I be doing?
Well, you need to plan as though you're going to spend 20% more than what you're spending now. You're not going to spend less. You're going to spend more, and it's going to compound. And then if you don't have enough money, then you need to start saving more and get yourself a really good investment plan that is not all fixed income oriented. The idea of being fixed income when you retire is something, from years and years ago that people, could have done, even though the CPI back then was very, very high. But right now you need to have a good total return, which is growth and income in your portfolio.
Tell me about Chapwood Investments.
Well, we actually have a calculator called the Financial Distress Calculator on our website. I don't ask for any personal information. Anybody can go to it, but it's a way for you to put in what you have, what your cost of living increase is, what your costs are, and it'll tell you, what rate of return you need to make in order to not go broke.
That's a good plan. That's something that we should be doing. The website again is what?
ChapwoodInvestments.com.
Very good. Hey, Ed, I want to thank you for spending some time with us today. You're right. You didn't paint a very pretty picture for us, but at least it's realistic.
That's right. That's what we need to have is real answers and a real situation so people can deal with it the best they can without being blind to it.
Hey, enjoy that 103 today, okay?
Thank you.
Have a great day. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.